Hi, I'm Kristen Boyd, Director of Community Engagement with the Reading School District. Thank you for joining us with Life Lessons from the Reading School District. Today we have with us Mary Liz Eschbach, who's a teacher with the Reading School District and Project Peace Coordinator. And then we have Wanda Colon, who is from the Community Prevention Partnership. And today our life lesson is going to be Talk It Out, which is a program that the Community Prevention Partnership, Project Peace, and then Berks Talk Line have done for our students in the district. So I'm going to kick it off to Mary Liz just to tell me a little bit about the background of the program and the project.
Sure. So I was approached by someone from the Community Prevention Partnership last spring. The Community Prevention Partnership just took over Berks Talk Line just recently in the last year, and they realized they wanted to refocus the program so that they could draw more kids to utilize the service that they provide. And so they asked me, and they knew I was in the middle schools. I'm at Northeast Middle. And they said, what can we do to get kids interested in this? And so I took it to my classes and I just showed them the website and I said, have you ever heard of this? And what do you think? And I just gave them a little bit of feedback. And then they said, okay, well, do you want to get involved in this with Project Peace? Can we partner up with Berks Talk Line and come up with a way to get kids involved in Berks Talk Line and to use the service, because the service is so wonderful and it's underutilized by our youth in the city.
Can you explain what Berks Talk Line is? What is that service?
Sure. Berks Talk Line was established back in 1990 as basically a confidential, free, non-judgmental phone service for youth. And in 1998, it expanded to include adults. We have callers, individuals who call from age of 3 to 103 years
Wow.
of age. And so it's been over 20 years that the service, and probably close to 200,000.
And so people call and talk to someone?
Yes.
Okay.
There are individuals who answer the phone, and now we have a new text service. So people could also text a conversation. And we help individuals, whether just listening or to help resolve any type of guide them to resolve conflicts or looking for referrals in the community.
So what type of issues are people calling with typically? What tends to be the thing that people are talking about or need help with?
It all depends. Older individuals, adults could call in because they're afraid or lonely, depressed, just need someone to talk to. The current day events, the weather,
Wow.
issues with family members or loved ones, someone who's grieving the loss of a loved one or a family member. And normally, if we have younger teens or youth calling, they could be calling because they're victims of bullying, or if they have a friend who's a victim of bullying, they're having their issues at home, they're not quite sure how to handle it, and they
Need someone to talk
need
to.
someone to talk to.
Can you explain what is bullying? How would you define that so people understand exactly what that means? If I'm a teen and I say I'm being bullied at school, in the community, at a after-school program, what does that mean?
Well, and I'm sure Mary Liz could attest to this, being a teacher also in the school. It would mean anyone who has felt as though they're not included in the group or from their peers and is receiving any type of intimidation, whether it be verbal, physical, mental, in the sense of it. We have quite a number of our youth are, again, I would say probably about 75% of the students
Wow.
who are right now texting or calling Berks Talk Line are because they're either victims of bullying in some way, shape, or form, or else they know of someone who is.
Wow. That's such a
Unfortunately.
staggering statistic just to hear about. So tell us about the Talk It Out program. How did that come to be? And then what was the goal behind it?
Well, the goal was, it seemed like we both, between Project Peace and Berks Talk Line, besides reintroducing Berks Talk Line, which started off with the youth, again, to that population, we thought, perfect, we both had the same outcomes, to try to build conflict resolution skills. Individuals try to work problems out without resorting to alcohol, drugs, or violence. And that's where the whole concept of Talk It Out came from, to talk it out. Sometimes we have our own solutions to problems, but until we hear ourselves, or have a conversation with someone. It doesn't come to us immediately, and we feel again that that is a good opportunity and option, and particularly for our young people nowadays. So instead of resorting to behavioral issues, fighting and violence and drugs and alcohol, that there is a better way to resolve any type
Absolutely.
of problem that they have.
And so the Talk It Out program, was that something that the Project Peace members were involved in shaping? So how did that work?
So this summer we met at the Community Prevention Partnership, and we brought kids from Project Peace who wanted to be involved over the summer to kind of come up with some ideas of a presentation for the kids at the middle schools. We thought that a presentation to the kids in the middle schools would be the best way to get it out there and really publicize this service for the kids. So we came up with some skits based on real conversations between Berks Talkline staffers and people who would call in. And we came up with different scenarios, and the kids helped write the skits and then helped put them in kid language, that would make sense. And then they helped film the skits, and and then they helped edit the skits. And we created these 2 video skits and then 2 live skits. And so the presentation was a blend of video and live skits that the kids did to kind of show how Berks Talkline works. And then we also had some like fun elements to the presentation too, like, talk it out signs that they would hold out, and we'd have to, the kids would have to say, talk it out now. And, some interactive stuff. And then we just blended that all together. Some of the work this summer too was meeting with principals and making sure that the principals were okay with this. We came up with an idea to give away something to the kids. So Wanda can tell you about that.
Yeah.
We thought, well, as soon as they got their school ID this school year, we would order some lanyards and give them. Every student in each of the 4 middle schools in the Reading School District received a lanyard with the Talk It Out slogan on it, with our phone number, call, and our text number on there. So it's it's all around them, so they can't forget it. We want to make sure that they have it, those numbers are accessible when they need to call.
Absolutely. Do you want to tell people the number just so they're aware of it?
Definitely. The call number, regular phone number is 610-374-8255. And the text number, which we just started in the middle of September, and we've had a wonderful response, is 484-494-2111. So it's a really easy number to know, but again, to remind the youth who are to call anyone. Again, it's adults,
and it is
youth.
a free service, correct?
Definitely a free service. We are open Monday through Friday from 11 to 11, and then 11 to 7 on the weekends.
Can you tell us just one of the Talk It Out scenarios, one that really stuck out or you thought connected with the kids?
Well, they loved the video ones. I think the favorite skit was the texting skit. It was just, you didn't see any faces in the skit. It was all just, somebody's fingers texting, and it was a young boy's fingers. And then the Berks Talkline person was, you just saw the back of them answering the phone and typing on the screen. And so it was anonymous the way Berks Talkline is. The text number also, when you text in or when you call in, your number does not show. They have a block so that it really truly is anonymous. Anyway, so the skit is anonymous, and it was a kid who was talking about using drugs and how he had stolen some alcohol from his parents, and he was high on weed at the time, or marijuana. He calls it weed. And at first, the kids kind of giggled a minute when he said how high he was, because he was brutally honest in the skit. And that's what they find at Berks Talkline, is the kids are really honest with them. So the kid is honest, and he says, I'm having trouble in school, and I'm high, and the drugs aren't really helping, and I don't know, how I feel about even, I'm pretty depressed and all this stuff. And then it comes out, that his mom really cares about him, and his mom wants to, through the questioning of the Berks Talkline person, says, is there someone who's concerned about you? His mom is concerned, and he ends up making the decision to talk to his mom about what's actually happening in his life, as opposed to hiding all these, secrets and having these problems on his own shoulders. He says, I'm going to talk to my mom. And that's how the skit ends. And so you don't really know, is he going to talk to his mom? Does he really do it? Does he follow through? But that's really how the Berks Talk Line ends too, is that, there's always the opportunity to call back, to talk again, to text again, but they don't really know if the kids are going to follow through with that or what they're going to do. But it's really left up to you, which is inevitably what life is anyway.
Right.
It's your choices are your choices. And so I think the kids really loved that one because it was so powerful. It was so serious, and it was so anonymous. And I think it could be anybody, and that's why they like that one, I think, the best.
So what tips do you offer to talk it out? What are the best ways to get started, or what advice would you give kids who are saying, okay, I don't want my behavior to go that way. I would rather talk it out, but where do I start?
Well, we always talk about, talking to your friends, talking to an adult, finding an adult. We always tell them that getting involved in any kind of after school activity and finding a mentor is probably one of the best things they can do to, further their education and to get themselves, to be more successful in life. We tell them that, there's always people in the schools if there isn't somebody at home, but, really to trust an adult and find an adult who would care for them, or a friend, and that's kind of, it sounds like simple advice, but it's really kind of the easy. Yeah, it's tough for kids to do.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why we really like the Berks Talk Line feature, is that it is sometimes easier for a kid to just be anonymous and have those problems that, all kids have, and to be able to, just call somebody up who's not going to judge them, who's maybe heard it all before too. And it's not going to surprise them. And it's not going to be something that, they have to sit and worry about then. It's putting it on somebody and being able to kind of lay the burden off your own shoulders. And I think, well, I know the calls have increased since we've done our presentations.
Really?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And
Can you
one
talk
of
about that?
Sure. And one of the, especially after school hours, after 3:00 is when most of the time you'll start to see, which is where we should, be seeing a lot of the phone calls and the texts coming in. But at the same time, a student might kind of feel out, see how they feel when they call. And, it could start out with, I'm just bored. Just decided to call the Berks Talk Line number, to once they feel comfortable with the Berks Talk Line person answering either the text or the phone, then they feel comfortable enough to go into talking about, and this is, for example, just, I kind of like a girl, but I'm not sure how to approach her, and I don't think I'm good looking enough to ask her out. I need, how do I even approach that? And then that will lead then to maybe that individual calling again regarding something, another issue or problem. But again, we told all the students at the assembly that to keep in mind, we are anonymous. We don't have caller ID, but the only time that we will ever ask for their information, their name and their address, is if they're in danger or they are maybe considering hurting themselves. So we always say they should be safe at 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But
Absolutely.
so that would be the only time, because we want to make sure we get them help immediately. And we do have calls that are crisis calls that we will then refer them to the proper community agency that can really provide the kind of help that they need.
Perfect. Well, we thank you so much for reaching out to our Project Peace groups to work with this project. It sounds like just within the first month and a half, you're already seeing tremendous results. And again, that helps not just our district, but the community at large, that these kids feel safe enough to have a place to go to and talk to, and that they're learning those tools and those skills to be able to talk it out. So again, thank you for providing that. Mary Liz, thank you for being here.
Sure.
If you want to repeat the number one more time so people have it, or the text, since that seems to be popular.
Definitely. The call number 610-374-8255, or talk. It's 374-TALK. And then the text number is 610. I'm sorry. The text number is 484 494-2111. We're all getting used to that new text number, but it's also, we have a website and a Facebook page, berkstalkline.org, so that hopefully between the lanyard and the social media, Facebook and the website, that everyone who needs the number, both numbers, can have access to it.
Perfect. Well, we are so grateful again to have a program like this that is not only going to help the district, but community at large. As you said, older adults can use it as well if they need someone to talk to. So thank you again for being a wonderful community partner. This is Life Lessons with the Reading School District. Mary Liz Eschbach and Wanda Colon. Talk it out.